recording. There you go. That's going to the cloud. And Nick, I'll leave and make you the thing.
All right.
Hey, you guys. This is Christian, K7XPN on the phone.
Hey, Christian.
Christian, you are 8750.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And Ron, what happened to Ron? Where did he go?
He said he was having to leave. He was going to turn the meeting over to Nick.
Oh,
So,
okay, he's not going to be.
There you go, Nick. You're on the hot seat now.
Okay, I renamed Christian.
He started the recording, by the way.
Yes. Well,
he said
great,
something
then.
about Burien something or other. So I don't know.
He's
at
the Fish Sticks baseball game.
Ah, okay.
Have you guys ever seen the Fish Sticks play?
Not either in person or on video.
Yeah, me either.
I've heard of them,
but my wife has a Fish Sticks baseball cat.
I think it's a great name.
It is, yeah.
If you want to, you can pause the video if you want. If you want to keep the video shorter.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, shall we just I don't know what shall we begin?
It's still before the official start time.
Oh, okay, so. Great. So we're still just chit-chatting.
Yeah, we should probably pause the recording until we actually do the official thing. You're muted.
Hello. Good to see everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan.
Well, want to say what the meeting is? Want to say what the meeting is about for the recording?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, this is the meeting of the NWMESH group, monthly meeting. We were just sort of chit-chatting, but I think we'll probably do kind of just a round of reports if anybody has anything to share. Ron isn't here tonight because he's at a baseball game. The Fish Sticks. So yeah, let's see. Who would like to go first? Who has something to report about mesh stuff? Anybody? Well, I guess I can continue the conversation that we were just having about Beacon and Providence Mount St. Vincent. So the Providence Mount St. Vincent node we've been struggling with a little bit because although it can see a lot of different nodes, it can see like a dozen different nodes, it is not able to get a good enough signal with any of those nodes to form a reliable connection. So I guess right now, I think it has a connection to 4 other nodes, but it can see another 8, but the connection is not strong enough. So Tom was just mentioning that if he can become available to climb the tower to pull that node down, Frank had suggested that we swap out the radio. So right now it's a microtick based radio, and we pulled out a ubiquity radio. And I guess, Tom, is the thinking there that the ubiquity would be stronger or better somehow, might resolve this?
Not sure, but I had a lot of difficulty configuring that radio, and it seemed like it would take forever to boot up and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think after you guys installed it, that just escaping. Doug updated the firmware to the latest at the time, and not sure if that changed any settings or anything like that, but it seems to have issues, like you say, communicating. I can see it here at times, and at times I have like a 50% when the old node that was just on the little Omni antenna, I had 100% connection with it all the time. So
interesting.
Now I did change stuff at my end, not the radio. The antenna masks got changed at my end, so I may not be fine-tuned into it, but I would have thought that the extra gain of the panel antenna would have more than offset for any, being slightly off bearing on my end would make. But anyway, so the thought is to put the rocket radio that was up there on the Omni antenna into the panel antenna and take the microtik out and see if that makes any difference. As I, Frank can't climb right now because of his knees, and I just haven't been available. So whenever one of us can get up there and just pull the panel antenna down to the roof, swap out the radio, and stick it back up. Shouldn't take long. It's just a matter of recording what they call ATUs, amateur time units.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll just keep having that conversation until we get that time.
Until the weather changes and we can't do it.
Yeah.
Tends to be how it goes for me.
Yeah. Yeah. The that Providence Mount St. Vincent node is on HamWAN, by the way. So I'll drop the IP address into the chat just so that people can have it.
And I right now can see Kurt, but I'm only a 50% signal with him on this antenna. My other node in the shack, usually pretty reliable with him. 90, 100%. So but surprisingly, he's not. When I connect to his node, I can't see beacon, and I'm surprised that I can't see beacon. So I'm wondering if beacon has an issue as well. I don't know what kind of radio it has. If it's the same thing as this microtik, maybe there's an issue with them with the AREDN firmware. They just don't seem to work quite right. So I don't know.
Interesting. So one thing that did happen in the last couple versions of AREDN, like the I think in the 3.23 version, is they added the link quality monitoring stuff, which will deactivate some links if it thinks that the signal's weak enough. Okay. So it's possible that there were a bunch of sort of marginal connections, and then that latest version came out and it cut all those links. And the reason that they did that is because in a much more highly connected mesh, you don't want to have those weak links because that's just causing extra traffic and then making the routing more complicated. And so by tossing those weaker connections when you have lots of choices, it speeds things up. But we don't have that problem. We have the opposite problem, which is that, all of our connections are pretty marginal. And so it's possible. In fact, I went into the Providence Mount St. Vincent node and I turned its link quality settings almost all the way off. But it doesn't matter because if it's got to be symmetric, right? Like if either end is doing the link quality stuff, it'll kill the connection.
Maybe I should go into mine and see if I can't do that too.
Yeah, and I don't have access to the
right now. It's showing that it's a previous neighbor, so it's dropped out below whatever that threshold is. So, and before it was like 100% all the time. It was there, just constantly. So
yeah,
now
if you're
it's previous more than it's current.
The link quality, you can turn the link quality completely off.
Yeah.
There's if you go to the under advanced config, if you go to the setup and then go to advanced config, the first setting is enable link quality management. You can just turn that off. But then if you want, you can fine tune it. Like there's the SNR margin, the min distance, the quality margin.
Okay,
you can tune those things down. But I mean, it might just make sense for us to just all turn it off.
Yeah.
Because it's not like improving things, right?
Okay, and advanced configuration. I just see all these AREDN dot link thingies. So default routes. How far down is it?
So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to find where on it's at the very top.
It's at the very top. There should be a section called link quality settings. You
On
need to be running 3.23 or above.
Yeah, I have to go see what version I'm on now. Yeah, the top line on mine is AREDN dot at LQM0 enable. and
Oh
it's
yeah,
turned
that's
off.
it. That's it. That's
Oh,
the.
it's turned off.
It's turned off on yours. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
well.
default because I haven't been into the screen before. So,
But then, so you said, oh, but
and the next,
Beacon has it turned on.
okay.
So if Beacon thinks that the connection to you is not
Well, I'm
good,
not looking at Beacon from here. I'm looking at Providence, Mount St. Vincent from here.
yeah, Providence. I should just turn it off. I don't think I turned it all the way off on Providence, Mount St. Vincent. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, mine just has a switch says off and on, and it's off right now. I suppose if I turned it on, there'd be a setting, but
Shoot, what is the password?
I'll have to look at
For what it's worth, I'm still tunneling. I don't think I hit anyone via RF.
Okay, let's see what version I'm running here. Where is it?
So my connectability via
Oh.
the internet should be fine.
Yeah, I'm on 3.22.8.0 here. I should probably upgrade it.
Oh, 3.22, yeah.
Yeah, I should probably upgrade. Anyway, I think I'm certainly 3.20.23 at the office, so I should go in. Well, I can't even talk to it right now, so maybe I should pull it back off the roof, put it on the bench, and come on. Try to reconfigure it. But yeah. Okay, yeah, because mine doesn't say the enable link quality management, just got that Arden dot thing on my screen. So obviously they've added more information in that box with the later version.
All right, I'm just going to turn off link quality management on Providence, Mount St. Vincent.
And I think we're probably running 3.22 at the West Seattle Tower side as well. I could probably upgrade that when I get some free time.
Which tower? Which site is that, Tom?
The West Seattle Tower. I refuse to call it Myrtle Park because that's not what it is. It's the West Seattle Tower.
Okay, great. The one at the High Point Park.
Yes, High Point.
Okay, great. Okay.
We can call it High Point. I think that's what the mesh name is High Point. But the facility it's installed on is the West Seattle Tower.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so there's Providence, Mount St. Vincent, and Beacon. I just turned it off, link quality management on Providence, Mount St. Vincent, and then the node is rebooting.
Yeah,
so.
Okay. I'm watching Fort here. It was a previous neighbor a minute ago.
We'll see if that works.
And I'm just curious what version Kurt's running right now. I can click on him. I might be able to connect. His probably hasn't been updated for quite a while. He is running version 3.21.4. So it's a couple of years old, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was before they added the link quality stuff.
Let me mesh status him and see what he can see now. Well, he can see KI7IYP. You can see both of my nodes, and like I say, the one in my shack is a stronger signal than the one out here, because this one's on a dish pointed at Mount St. Vincent, and there's a house between my dish and him, so any signal there is just a reflection. And I've got he's got previous neighbors. Mount St. Vincent, the other three are IP addresses. Okay, looks like Mount St. Vincent might be coming back. It's just an IP address. He's off to a rodeo right now, but when he comes back, I'll see if we can't get him to update his firmware. And I'll do the same on my nodes, get him up to .23. Yeah, now it shows my leak quality on my shack radio to him is 100%, 100%, with the megabits of 29.2. always had a good strong signal between me and Kurt on that node.
Mhm.
And that's not MIMO, that's just a vertical barbecue grill antenna. And I think he's got an Omni vertical. I don't think his is MIMO either. But strangely enough, that his isn't seeing beacon, which I would think it should. But then again, it might be that link quality thing.
Yeah.
Then you see KI7 IYP, which is clear up by the Salvation Army. You know, where we have the club meetings. He's up on the hill right above that.
Interesting.
That's quite a ways away for his house.
And wait, where are you seeing all this from? From Kurt's
I'm connected
place?
to Kurt's house, yeah. I'm looking at his mesh status screen.
Yeah, at Mount St. Vincent, almost all of the nodes are, the LQ is some percentage between 40 and 100, and the NLQ is 0. So,
Okay.
which
Yeah, I suspect that radio is just, I don't know. I had so much trouble getting that thing to flash.
yeah.
And once it got flash, it just like it took 11 minutes to cycle through reboot after reboot after reboot before it came up stable.
Who has the radio that we took down?
It's here. I have it.
It's at your place, okay.
Yep. And I think Frank said that Doug upgraded that thing at the same time he upgraded the one up there on the hill, but I can check it here.
Well, unless we have anything else to say about Beacon and Mount St. Vincent, does someone else want to share anything related to mesh stuff?
Well, I mentioned before I'm a tunneler, and that's because I really can only see N7FS to the north when he's on. He may be on now. I don't see my screen at the moment, but not much to do with it. I'm on. If anybody wants to send me some mail.
Yeah,
I picked up one of those routers at CPAC, so I might see how I can figure out how to get tunneling going on another PC here. Might be fun to have 3 nodes running.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to find out who's running a server and how to get connected to that.
Oh, to a tunnel server?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the EOC, the ACS EOC has a tunnel server, and
Okay, so I just talk to Doug.
Or you can email Carl.
Carl, okay.
He's got. I mean, maybe Doug will do it too. I don't know.
Oh, either
but,
one.
Yeah.
Carl's probably a little more active in it. So I bought the node, and it's got the AREDN firmware on it, but it hasn't been configured yet. So I'd have to probably sit down and talk to somebody while I'm ready to implement that, get it connected to a PC, and then have somebody walk me through the steps to get it connected. So I have the option of putting up a HamWAN dish here and see if I could hit the Providence site from here.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And then, maybe do it through HamWAN instead of going through home internet. Because, I mean, this is all about ham radio, right?
Right. Yeah, that'd be neat.
Then maybe I can get my Ham Shack hotline phone connected up.
I think, Tom, would be impressive if you would actually get a spotlight and put N70EP like Batman does up in the sky, and that would be our alert.
Oh.
Shining over Delridge.
Well, we can look into that. Sure, we can find one of those outdoor advertising, rotating World War II searchlights and just paint a logo on the lens.
Right, exactly.
On a cloudy night. when the ceiling's about 2,000 feet. Just aim it up.
Yep, it'll work.
We wouldn't want it to go beyond West Seattle, right? Okay, enough nonsense.
So I remember in the past there were a lot of other folks joining in, South Sound folks, and is this the same group? And are they just?
Yeah, just haven't been on the last couple of months. Mark down in Vancouver usually joins us, and then occasionally the W2, I can't think of his name. Is it John?
Yeah.
On the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was between two different QTHs often, so I guess it depends on where he was at. If he was, you know, in a time zone where it was convenient for him to join us, because it's a couple hours later there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm surprised. Maybe just because of the summer activities, you know, people are outdoors playing. They don't want to sit on computers in hot houses.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I got my box fan going here, because, well, it's 85 here in the living room, so it's probably 90 in the shack. So I've been out here.
Yeah.
So Nick, was that screenshot that you're sharing right now? Is that the new firmware?
No, this is still the last version. I haven't upgraded to. This is 3.24.4. I haven't gotten the 0.6 release yet.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done it.
So has anybody been active at all on Mesh Chat? Because the last time I got a connection to anybody outside of me and Kurt was like back in February or January. So that's why I'm kind of curious about getting a tunnel set up so I can see, is there anything going on Mesh Chat that I'm just not getting via RF because I'm in a pocket?
Yeah.
I'm in a bubble.
The last message on our zone was Jonathan. Jonathan and I were talking because we were troubleshooting some Mesh Chat stuff, and that was back in April.
Wow. So if I open my Mesh Chat right now, dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that'll be interesting if you can see that dialogue, because you might be totally disconnected from the.
Oh, I'm sure I am, because I've sent out 3 or 4 test messages and I don't even see an echo back from those. So for some reason, Mesh Chat's not coming up, and it could be that I just need to reboot my node. It's been a while. I'm clicking on it. There we go. Now it's coming up. Log in, my call sign. You don't remember me? I live here. Not that one. Well, that'll work. I don't care. And it might take a while. Oh, 11/23 of 2020. So this one hasn't seen anything since 2022.
Okay.
And that might be because I'm looking at Kurt, who hasn't had any Mesh Chat updates in his database since 2022.
Uh-huh.
So
what is Kurt's call again?
WR5J. As a matter of fact, that message was from a silent key, Steve, N7LNX.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I see that also. And then that's like 3 or 4 pages worth of messages old on mine.
Because he's not getting anything, I don't see anything, because he's my connection to the outside world at this point.
So that was on WR5J-home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last time I saw that node was you in April 1st of 2023.
Oh, wow. So I can see him right now because I just connected to him. But apparently we can only see each other. I can see Mount St. Vincent occasionally, but apparently not long enough to connect. And certainly not long enough to download any Mesh Chat stuff.
And what node are you locally running?
I'm currently on my OEP-5, but I've got an OEP-1 in the shack, and they have
I see,
100%
I see.
connectivity between each other, so I can log into either one from here. That's another cool thing I'd like to see. Can I network those two together on the same LAN?
Yeah,
Or-
you should be able to.
Or would they exclude each other from RF that way, so that, you know,
I heard that they do, but I don't know if that's true.
and I'm sure they have to be on exactly the same firmware version to make all that stuff happy.
Maybe, yeah. It's hard
So
to
anyway,
say.
no, I got a couple of 8-port switches today. I've got a 5-port here because I've got my node and an IP phone connected up here. And in the shack, I've got the IP phone as well as a IP camera connected. So with these little switches, I'm going to replace them with the 8-port switches so I can do more things. But I've also, like I said, got that the router that will do tunneling. So I'd like to maybe connect these guys up so I can see either node on the PC without having to log into the other node via RF. And then just run one PC that can talk to all my nodes and simplify things. But it's also kind of cool having a PC out here in the living room and a PC in the bedroom that I can just, whichever one I'm close to. Oh, it's connected to a node full time. Don't have to type any IP addresses or click any shortcuts. And I normally have both of them running Mesh Chat, and sometimes they're not synced. One will have messages from 2023, and one will have messages from 2022. And I think that's bizarre because they're both running the same version firmware, and why they don't sync to each other to update. Well, you've got older messages here. Let me give you the most current ones. I don't know. I don't know why that doesn't do that. Anyway, another mystery of the universe.
How about you, Christian? Do you have anything you want to share? Or do we lose Christian?
He's there.
I'm down at the community center. Only thing I was just repeat what I said when we were chatting a little bit before the formal start of the meeting. I did get a couple more of those TP links. And actually, incident, I didn't mention this before, but Nick, I bricked several of the, or I think I bricked a couple of those, and I thought I'd bricked 3 of the damn things. And when I got those 2, I got 2 from one of the Cascadia radio guys and flashed them. And it was a gigantic, it's remarkable. It ended up being more of a pain in the rear than I remembered. And it took, with both of them, I ended up resetting the firmware. I tried it, wasn't able to get them flashed, and then did a hard reset on, just the factory firmware. And I've written some notes about this. I'm still not entirely sure what happened, but on the second time around, it actually worked. And doing the hard reset on the factory firmware got me thinking. I couldn't remember if I'd tried that on the ones that I'd bricked. And so 2 of the ones that I bricked, I tried that on. One of them, it did not work. I cannot get anything, I can't get anything to show up on our browser. I can't, and I'm way out of my depth on this, but I just can't get anything out of it. But the other one, I did the hard reset and was able to ultimately flash it. And I'd mentioned before the call started, I gave one of them to one of the Puget Sound digital ham radio net guys who lives not too far from me. And one of the other digital ham net guys, a guy named Don, AE7VX. Don Flat, he's got an Arden node. He participated in that workshop we held. Don's up in Montlake Terrace. And I don't think I've tried to connect with Don before and just, there's nothing. But Ryan, who I gave the note to, he hasn't gotten up on the roof yet, but he is going to get up and put his up on his roof. And we'll see. I'm doubtful that it'll work. I took a look on Google Earth on the elevation profile between us, and I think there are too many. There is more or less a line, but there are just too many trees, I suspect. But I am trying to get more folks. Just trying to get more folks outfitted, and I was also was gonna mention, with all the talk about Beacon, I work for the Veterans Administration, and my office is in the mental health substance use building, which should tell you a lot about the kind of person I am. But it's the new building that looks out over Jefferson Park golf course, so it looks just due north. And I took one of the TP links down there and have it stored in the office as an emergency AREDN node with one of those programmed smart routers, etc. So I've got that stored in my office, but I did try setting it up, and I got nothing. And my office is up on the 4th floor looking out. It clears all the trees, and it looks straight out over downtown. Where's the Beacon Hill AREDN node?
It's on the
it's on the
public
Beacon
housing
Tower
building.
public housing building. It's like a
Is that
10 or
the-
12 story apartment building at the north end of Beacon Hill, just south of the hospital there.
Yeah, like 13th in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's south of the VA hospital.
Not the VA hospital. What we used to call the old Marine Hospital when I was a kid, but I think Amazon was in there at one time. It's Pac-Man or somebody's in there. Just before you cross over the old bridge over to Capitol Hill, essentially. So it's south of that and higher up.
So I should have line of sight to that.
Sure.
I should have line of sight to that.
But like I said,
is it an omnidirectional?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, people over here that have line of sight don't seem to be able to connect to it, because I can connect to them and I can't see Beacon through their nodes. So there may be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, I was just curious about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Also from up there, and it depends on the glass in your windows too. If you're pointing a thing through a window, some windows have some UV protection in them, which kind of shields them from RF as well.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, we've got, I don't know, it's probably double glazed, triple glazed. But when I say, like, I'm also just about parallel with West Seattle, so nothing like line of sight to West Seattle. And like I pick up Kurt's node. We can't get a good connection, but he's showing up. And that's at right angles to me through that window, that same window. So
Beacon should be closer to you than Kurt up there. So
yeah,
I suspect there's some issue with Beacon still.
Yeah,
it could very well be the same issue we're having with Mount St. Vincent. I don't know what radio they put in out there, if it's a rocket or one of the microticks.
It's a microtick.
It is. Okay. Well, it might be the exact same issue we're having in Providence. It just doesn't do AREDNMESH very well.
Yeah, it looks like it's identical hardware.
Okay.
Router board 912 UAG.
Yeah, that's the base box.
PND. Yeah, it's identical.
Yep. Okay. Well, if we swap out the one at Providence with
we should do that.
A rocket, then that'll answer that question, whether it's the radio or noise floor issues.
Yes. Yeah. That would I did some experiments on the roof at Mount St. Vincent where I had a little just a little one of those GLI net nodes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I was just sitting on the roof, right, with my laptop, and
Mhm.
the connection was not good talking to the Mount St. Vincent antenna.
Wow.
Just like, line of sight in the
Yeah.
direction of, and it wasn't good connection there. So
Hmm.
that doesn't speak very highly
No,
of
it
that.
doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Well, that's something we'll have to work on.
Yeah. And I do the node. From my house, if I can get my node up high enough, which is not currently, but if I can get it up high enough, it can talk to the Admiral Brookdale node,
Oh.
and that node is a Rocket M2.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's one that Steve Monsey can hit,
yeah, probably.
whether or not he's got his node up and running, who knows. Yeah, there's a lot of guys on the west side of the ridges here that have nodes, but they just don't show up. So I think they just don't have them connected, or like me, if I forget to reboot it, every 4 to 6 weeks, it just stops talking to the rest of the world, even though it looks like it's working on my PC, but I don't see any traffic going around. So. And I'm thinking the repeater controller has scheduler functions in it. I'm thinking of using that scheduler to reboot the mesh node up there like once a month, or maybe I could just do a touch tone command to power cycle it once. But it takes 8 to use.
Right. Yeah. And what needs to happen at Mount St. Vincent is that the whole unit needs to come down from the tower. We need to open it up, swap out the hardware, and then
I think it'd
haul
be
it back
easier
up.
to do it down on the roof than up on the tower.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
don't think we have to take it off the site. I think we can do everything we need to do there on site.
Sure.
But the radios physically mount slightly different inside the panel antenna. So I may need to do some drilling or zip tying or
Right.
RTV or Velcro, whatever it takes to change out the mounting.
Yeah, if I could get the right equipment for climbing, I'd be willing to climb the tower. And then it's just disconnect it and get some kind of
now mounting that thing on there was very, very tricky. The mounts didn't work quite well on that tower leg. But I think the panel itself can be detached from the mounts. Leave the mounts bolted to the tower leg and just take the panel off that.
I see. And
if
that
that's
might
the
be
case,
easier.
that would be a lot, because 90% of the time installing that panel antenna was getting those mounts to clamp to that tower leg properly.
Yeah. Are you going to be you're not going to be at breakfast tomorrow, are you?
No.
Okay. But you'll be at the parade?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe at the parade we can connect and you can give me the that Rocket M2.
Sure. And
then I can reflash it. Have you reflashed it with the latest?
I have not, but I was told that Doug reflashed it, while it was still up there.
Oh, did he?
His hands at Mount St. Vincent. So maybe he did it while inside the room. I don't know, but I can certainly take. I can look at it.
Yeah,
I'll check and see what version it's got.
Parade and
yeah,
and I live on 45th between Hanford and Hines, so it's like walking distance from the parade.
My sister's at 44th on Charlestown, so, and that's where I park. So
great, yeah. Well, all right. What else? Anything else?
Danny said he'd put a note up on his tower if somebody wanted to do the physical climbing.
Yeah, he made that offer a year or so ago.
And did again recently when I was over. I think when I picked up that Zenith to look at, I had the TP Link in my car and showed him, this is all it is. It's this small, this little thing like this. He goes, that's it? I said, yeah. And then there's like this little wall wart thing that goes inside the house. It's just Cat 5 cable comes down. Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Because first he wanted to put it up on one of the outbuildings there. And they told us, show them how small it was. Oh, yeah, we can put that on the tower.
That would be great because then I could hit him,
Yeah.
and then that would allow me to see Admiral or whatever.
Well,
I
it depends
think.
on which way he's pointing, because those TP links are directional.
Yeah.
They're not omni.
Well, hopefully we can figure out a way that it'll illuminate at least far enough south that I can hit it.
Yep.
You know,
If we can
because
make sure Greg's up, make sure Chris and 7FS is up. Maybe you get Bob PAC, because he's got one. It's just never been put up on his roof.
Yeah.
Get the people that's got equipment, get it up and working, and keep it connected.
yeah,
To keep the network physically able to communicate. That's half the battle. It's just the people that have nodes, get them up and keep them up.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Is there a mesh page on our website now? That is,
You're muted, John.
There is, but I've run into a complication. Apparently we're using a tab module that is now a security risk. And so I've got to redesign that, one of the pages. I think there's more than one mesh page. I think one's under boot camp, and there probably is another one too. But the one under boot camp, it's very nice. I really liked the way it worked. You just click the different tabs and you got a conveniently, information popped up. But I got to notice that that plugin now is a security risk, and it was taken off. That plugin was taken off of WordPress, so they don't even promote it anymore. So I've got to figure out how to get all that information back into use. Probably will use something like an accordion type thing. That seems to be the best option. Otherwise, they would just be spread out over over a really long page, and that can be very difficult to use. So yes, we do. That was the short answer. Yes, we do.
that's okay. Yeah, it's all good. It's nice to see you for once not riding the ferry.
Yeah, I'm in Gaswork Parks right now.
I understand they have a new brewery opening up over there, Gasworks Brewery.
Oh, catchy name.
Yeah.
Not with my digestive tract. I don't want no gasworks brewing.
Right. I certainly don't want it made out of the water there.
Well, I was going to say that since I've been here, they've had to sod. They had to go and scrape the surface and put in new sod because they found out that even though people thought it was safe, it was still toxic. That's been about 20 or 30 years ago.
Jonathan, you'll like this. Top of the sixth, Cal Riley homers to left field. Seattle Mariners 11, the Angels 0.
Wow. 11 is
in the sixth.
Boy, the Angels have just imploded.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that is good news. We could use a win. It's been a rough series, rough past week or so.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else.
I have something that I can mention that's not mesh, but as we speak, I am JS8 calling with a fellow in New Mexico on 40 watts. And he lives at 9,000 feet above sea level. And
in New Mexico?
In New Mexico. So he's way up in the mountains somewhere.
Wow.
And gets 4 feet of snow. Yeah, go ahead.
Anywhere near where Ryan was today?
I don't know where he was, but
he was on some mountain in New Mexico.
Yeah, Baldy.
Baldy, yeah, not Baldy.
Yeah, but I didn't look it up.
And of course, I didn't have my KX2 with me today at work. So.
Yeah, with your amp, 50 watts would have made it.
Well, probably, but he would have had to go over to voice because I don't have a keyer on that thing.
Oh.
I don't have any paddles. and my CW. So anyway, off topic.
Yeah.
We'll chat. We'll talk later.
Oh,
All right. Well then, I guess we can call it an evening.
okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks,
John,
everyone.
thanks for all your John. Thanks for everything you do on the website with not only the mesh stuff but all the other stuff too. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, it's terrific.
You're welcome.